This is a JetBoaters.net production.
Welcome to the Yamaha 222 XD. Julian and I are going to spend some time just investigating this boat. I can tell you right off that it very much reminds me of a 255 with the space and just the features. It's very obvious that Yamaha has taken a lot of the features and just the spacing behind the 255 and implanted it in this 22-foot boat platform. And this is a whole new platform. They didn't just retool the 21-footers. They actually made an entire new boat from ground up. And it's very obvious that they listened to a lot of the remarks from the customer because we're seeing the things that we all talk about on the forums evident in this boat. So we want to cover as much as we can, show you as much as we can. We may forget some things here or there, but we'll be available to discuss those things. So we're here using the all-new drive system, at least for the 22-foot boats. We're sitting in a 222X. It's a really nice system. You can use this system if you want to pivot in a small area, you want to park the boat in a tight, congested area. It's really nice. It limits the range of motion to 270 degrees and lets you use these paddles. This particular paddle on the right side or the starboard side is for forward, and then the one on the port side is for reverse. So you can actually use this to spin it by applying paddle, a little throttle, and then turning it the other way and applying the reverse. So engaging drive is really, really easy and simple. If you notice, there's the battery indicators, and I think as boaters we love knowing exactly what both of our batteries, where they're at. But right under that you can see the indicator and the way we control which mode we're in. So if I click on this once, you'll see it changes to running mode, and that's where both throttles are engaged. So independent control of my engines. I click it once, and then now it goes to single throttle mode. So I'm using my port side throttle to control both engines, and my starboard throttle is disengaged. I click it once more, and then I'm in drive, and where I can use the drive technology to control my my navigation with the paddles. And that's again designed for around the docks where it's tight quarters. I mean, just around the docks in general, but it's really good in tight quarters. You saw earlier where we did the 360 and put us back in the same position. So additionally this year, what Yamaha has done in the 22-foot models is they now have charging ports. So I want to charge my phone, I simply slip it in to the phone holder, and as you can see, it is now charging. So that's nice. I have all my data right in front of me. We depend on these phones so much these days. When I want to escape from work and come out here, I still need to be in communication, and it remains charging the entire time. And it's on the other side as well. It's on the port side as well. So let's go through this Helm. First thing you'll notice right off the bat is that the connect system is right aligned. Everything is shifted from the left to the right, giving you much more visibility of what's in front of you. The connect system is huge, similar like they've done on the bigger boats. You can see everything really clearly. I can see my port and my starboard tachometer, as well as all the other system information that I always want to know. I want to know where my fuel is. I want to know what the depth is. I want to know my battery charge. All of that information is visible right from my home screen. Just like in the other models, with the big connect screen, I have my location, so basically maps. I can keep track of my track, where I'm going, so that I can get back easily by following my track. I have all the system information, how am I doing on fuel, what's my reserves, and so forth. I also have all the information that's related to wake surfing and wakeboarding, water sports in general, my music, of course all my lights, and then more of the system configuration information. I have all the normal things that I would have, like my bilge and my blower, navigation lights, anchor lights, quickly, fast at the helm right on my home screen. And as usual with Yamaha, there's a couple multiple ways to do some of these things. So really nice buttons. I really love the way that the buttons are configured in this 22-foot model, and the later Yamahas that we're seeing these days. All of those buttons on the right, that nice metallic look, really clean lines. It looks really sharp. If it doesn't show up on camera, trust me, it looks good in person. If you take a look here, we got my cup holder that remains. That's important. The GPS, the module is kind of sleek. It kind of stays out of the way, but if you notice it, it actually looks pretty good.
As we mentioned earlier, you also have the all-important wireless charging pad right here. You put a phone in here and you're charging away. You can also use this as a workstation. Put anything you want up there, a laptop if you're out and sitting on the lake, maybe working.
So let's take a look at what they did with the engine. First of all, to get in it, these two latches, let's pull up on that. Nice strong strut. And the first thing you'll notice is there is plenty of room to work in here. This is amazing how much space you have to work as you work with anything on the engine, change the oil. It's just so wide open. I feel like I can go down in there physically and actually get to anything that I need to get to. So the space is just wide open. You can access everything. And if you notice on the sides, you notice that they went to soft bags, which gives you another full wide open feel, as well as if you're not using the ballast at the time, you can actually, I would store things back there if I needed to. I do like this too, because sometimes, perhaps you want to get maybe a little more weight, something happens, you want to switch out your bags, it's easy to get to. It uses a clipping system that's quick connects. That seems like a really nice and convenient way. If you look in here too, you'll see a lot of the ballast system. There's separate pumps and inlets for each of the bags. So there's two back here in the engine and then one up in the anchor locker for the center bag. But the engine bay is, again, I like it really nice and open. You can notice that they use some much nicer, really nice material for the sound deadening, as well as it seems to be, they've sealed it off of the gasket here so when it closes. And I can tell you, we've noticed that the sound when the boat is moving is a lot less than I've seen on the prior Yamaha boats. So I think everybody's going to like the sound level, the decibel levels that are in here. I love the material that's used. The space is wide, so I think this was a hit with these new 22 series boats. Another nice feature that we've noticed is, really overall, this boat mirrors, the 25 footers, and it feels so much bigger than the previous 21 footers that the Yamaha had. The 22 footer, you can see that the gunwales are narrowed, they're further out. The space between the sides of the boat is just, everything is pretty much usable. So if you look back here, even on the swim platform, it is very similar to the 25 footers. You have a nice area where that you can sit and you don't have to get in too much of a low position that it's uncomfortable. This is really, really nice to be sitting up this high, but at the same time sitting down close to the water. It is, again, very, very wide. Lots of space. I think probably 4 people, 5 people could comfortably fit across here. And like most of the Yamaha boats, or all of the Yamaha boats, there's area to put in the table. So there's a bracket for the table leg. On this particular boat, there's a helm control for the stereo system that we'll cover later together. There's the speakers that are angled towards the actual people that are sitting back here rather than angled towards each other. So it's real nice within this boat. Wet storage right here we can actually flip up, and there's a really nice hard tank, if you may, that has drain holes, so you can still use that as wet storage. And I know some people are going to probably use it more as extra storage, like you can see it here. We have some refreshments available for us for later. But really nice feature, I think, on this boat. It's always nice to keep the wet items out of the boat and away from everybody in the boat that's dry.
Really nice wakeboard racks now from PTM. These are attached directly to the tower. You can put them in 3 positions. We had them inside to start off with, facing backwards, and then to the outside. And they lock in there really solidly, and you can see the bracket here. It looks very, very nice. All right, this is the bow of the new 222XD. One of the things that I noticed right away getting in here is it's got a lot of room. I'm 6'1", and I can sit here with my feet up, and you know, it's a lot bigger than our typical bows. It's got your standard ankle locker here. This thing is deep. It goes a long way down, and we'll get a shot of that for you. It's you know, you can get a lot of road in there, and it's your standard anchor, fits nicely. You've got a bow ladder, as all the boats have had. It's got a nice stainless steel strut on here, holds this up beautifully, and it's just really nicely pointed up here. You'll see that there's 6 cup holders up here. I think you can probably only fit 4 people, so we can do some two-handed drinking if need be. These seats pop out, so you can have a forward seating position, and then they both flip up. There's a lot of stuff in here, but again, we got the full flip-up seats. They stand on their own. They're fixed. They also go completely through into both helm compartments. So if you want to stick a long ski in there, you know, you can fit things in there. You want to put cool noodles in there. Of course, you've still got the ski locker in the center of the boat here, and you know, and the typical air dam from the helm here comes across, and we can lock off and block off the wind here. So it's a nice layout, and I think you'll find it's a really beautiful upgrade on the X and XDs with the vinyl seating colors here. Very nice. This is the XD model, which has the drive control system. So underneath the helm on the starboard side are all those controls. For those of you geeks out there that want to know what's going on under here, you've got underneath this box here, you got all the steering controls, you got servo motors and everything. You can access all of those from under the helm. In the back, you'll see where it says P and S. That's where you can actually do an override in the event that the servos can't move the gates. You can open that up and manually move them. This is how, you know, this is all the engineering of everything that controls those buckets on the XD model. Let's talk about the stereo on this boat. The stereo is, as always, controlled through the Connect screen and through the joystick control at the helm. Also, underneath, there's 2 Wet Sounds amps. And the boat has a total of 9 speakers. So we've got these really large, nice 8-inch cans on the tower. They're bolted directly to the tower. These aren't on with clamps. These are really nice attachments. And then the other speakers, we've got 2 speakers in the stern, 2 Wet Sound speakers in the cabin, 2 in the bow, and then we got a 10-inch subwoofer. It's a very nice system. Your friends and family will love you. The Bimini in this boat is bigger than I've seen in many of the boats this size. I'm putting my arms up. I'm 6 foot, 6'1", and if you could see, I put my arms forward like this. This Bimini is probably 8 feet long, maybe 9. It covers the full width of the boat. It gives you a lot more cover than their prior Biminis. Standing here at the helm, you can see plenty of headroom clearance. Also, we were talking about the stereo before. I would be really hard pressed to bang my head on this. In my boat, these cans are always where I'm just like bong all the time. You'd really have to try to hit these. So great Bimini, great speaker placement, lots of headroom, works very nicely. Here we are in the cabin. We've got nice U-shaped seating back here. You'll notice that these seats, as in the bow, lift up nicely. In here, you can see we got a subwoofer here. You can see the back of the subwoofer. We got both batteries in here, and the typical battery switches, the combined battery 1, battery 2, and we got our fuse block here for changing out fuses. Nicely laid out, nicely accessible. On the other side, same thing. Nice flip-up seat, wide open storage here. Got space for cooler, sits right behind the helm seat, and again, wet sound stereo. Neil and I really enjoyed the walkthrough of this boat. I think you'll find that Yamaha included a phenomenal set of features, and that this is really an amazing upgrade from the current 21-foot models. If you have any other questions for us, please feel free to visit us on jetboaters.net. I'm Julian, and Neil is Operation ROL, and we'd love to answer more questions if you have them. See you on the forum.